guys, today we're going to... Wait. What's going on? It seems we have some technical difficulties, folks. I guess we'll get back to you when I get to the review.
This content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
No, isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill no
Wait
one.
a second.
No.
We return to our planet. The High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of SeptumSin versus the World. I'm SeptumSin, and today I am actually going to do a movie review. I'd been meaning to do this for a while, but I had lost my voice, and I need to start again. Because obviously... 3, 2, 1. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of SeptumSin versus the World. I'm SeptumSin, and today we're doing a movie review. I've been wanting to do this movie review for a bit now. Unfortunately, I was unable to because of illness. I kind of forced my way through for Amityville Descendants of Darkness, but this time I am at full range, so let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to talk about the new Joel Wynkoop film, Beast Mode. Now, this is one that you got to hear a lot about, especially when we're talking about the COVID, like when COVID came to town. If you haven't seen that one, you should. It is a fairly decent documentary about COVID. If you want to hear more about that, I think I do have a review or something up in relation to it. I may be wrong. So what you get with this is you do get a nice little disc, and you get a poster, full-on poster with the Beast Mode kind of in there. And of course, as far as extras, you do get a little bit of extras. You get a few things on here, but unfortunately, no subtitles. But that's okay. Sound-wise, it's pretty good. But let's go ahead and just get started here. So we have Mr. Butters, who is a kind of this man who has been living in a fantasy world. So much so that the fantasies are almost taking over his life. He really wants to be a superhero. He wants to be more than just some dude working for a real estate firm. Man, people working in real estate companies have terrible things happening. I guess that's why I got out of the business. Any case, unfortunately for him, everything falls apart, and he is left with near nothing, but is offered the chance at superpowers. Unfortunately, this doesn't quite work out as expected, resulting in, well, something very monstrous happening. Now, I've reviewed quite a few Wynkoop films on here, and I actually consider Joel Wynkoop as a true pillar of micro-budget cinema. Somebody going back a good ways, and somebody who I feel is just as instrumental in the field as names like, names like Video Violence, or for the Shot on Video world, or the Polonia Brothers. Somebody who is really refined in that sense. And with this film, I actually do feel you get a lot more of him in it than I've seen in some of the other films that I've reviewed on this channel. You, of course, get to see a lot of the writing that he did. You know it's a Wynkoop film when there are some references scattered throughout. And as I've said before in some of the previous reviews I've done, there's a lot of references to other materials, and there's some fun there. I mean, you can go back and you can look in and you can say, hey, wasn't this from this movie? Or what about this line? Or what about this thing that he put in here? Or this picture in the background? And that is very prevalent here. I got a few when I started, and of course I had to see it multiple times in order to do it. And one of the things I am very happy about saying is that I would watch this multiple times. I don't know when I'm going to watch it again, but I do plan on watching it again in the future, and that's a big thing. And I am glad to say that, and I can't always say that about micro-budget features. Now, I think that the story has a lot of good in it. There are a few hiccups here and there, but for the most part, I would say that's very solid, and it does have a theme that has a comic booky type theme, like he was almost set up to be a comic book villain if there were heroes to fight that villain. And the ending really did give a little bit of emotion. One of the only things I have as a criticism of the plot is I could have just shut off right there at the very end where you see, well, you'll know it when you get to it, but when you really come to the end of the climax, I feel like you could have shut it off right there and it would have had a more emotional impact. But as it is, it did pretty well. So I would say writing is a solid piece. Next up, let's talk acting. Acting in micro-budget films, I always rate on a sliding scale, because I really don't look for like Hollywood quality acting. I'm not sitting here and looking for Academy Award winning stuff. I am looking to see if the acting is good enough to not take me out of the film. Now, Wynkoop himself, I always consider him fairly top-notch when it comes to this. And he does a pretty good job with the rest. There were not a lot of bad performances here. Most of them did their job. Some better than others, yes. But did any of them, even the lowest end in this project, did not take me out of it. And that, to me, is effective in the micro-budget space. So, to me, I'd say acting is a solid piece of quality when it comes to the field. Now, one piece that I have criticized in the past is production value. Sound in particular. Now, in this film, the sound is actually good, so the subtitles are not necessarily required. And that is a great thing. I have some difficulty hearing. There may be some times, I think there's one scene in there where if you were wearing headphones, it's more beneficial than on a TV. But for the most part, 99% of it, the sound is A-okay, works well. I think you can do it. The music does not overpower the vocals, so you can turn up the volume without it blowing your ears off. I think that's great. I love the use of a lot of the backgrounds. In Florida, you can have some very jungle-esque looking background, and I do like the use of it. I think that when you are directing with next to no budget, you really have to make do with what you've got access to, and I think that the director here did do that in a very good way. Now, special effects, there weren't a lot. Don't expect anything over the top. I think most of them were mostly practical. I didn't see a lot of CG in there. And in the micro-budget space, I actually consider the less CG the better. Practical is really where the creativity rules. In here, there wasn't a lot, and that's okay. There wasn't a lot needed. Now, if you're looking for some sort of big gore fest like you do see in some micro-budget pieces, you're not going to get it here. I don't think that's a bad thing. I do know some people that's what brings you to the space. So if that is what brings you to the space, you might need to look elsewhere. But to me, I actually think that this served well enough. It did a good job, and it helped bring this project to fruition. Finally, the music. I mean, you do have one of the staple groups that does typically sing most of the songs with these types of films, and I do like that. And music-wise, otherwise, really, I didn't have a lot of pieces that just struck me as something I would listen to in a soundtrack. I mean, just the opening and ending song, really. But did what music being there take me out of the film? Did it blast away the vocals like it has in some micro-budget features? No, it didn't. It fit what was needed. It got the point across, just like the acting, doing the job required. And, just as a final word, Joel Wynkoop's Beast Mode is a solid villain origin story. I would hope maybe one day that he could return to the well with this. Maybe even make his own superhero movies. He has authored a superhero comic, which I do have. I should have thought about having it up here, but I'll put a picture of it here. Yeah, site that you can get. I think you can still get from him. And, it would be kind of cool to see more of this. Maybe have his character return to life, or maybe you could get another actor in sort of a costume, like maybe some undead rotting from there, or have the person at the end have that secondary appearance and fight some of the superheroes in that universe. I think that this could be a good way of starting. It's sort of like M. Night Shyamalan's Unbreakable, where you have kind of a superhero origin story, but it's also the origin story of a supervillain as well. So maybe you could see some of that in there. Either way, I think that Beast Mode is a solid pick. I would check it out. You can go to Wynkoop himself, and he does sell these. To me, I think any way you can support independent film is a good thing. Check it out. Last but not least, I always end this not with a score, but with a who is this for? Because even the worst films that I rate on this, and this is not one of them, but even the worst films I rate on this do have an audience. And I want to find that audience, because every film should be appreciated and enjoyed. So in this one, I think that if you are a Wynkoop fan, I think you will like this. There are a lot of little touches there. If you like, especially the films that he has directed, I really think that you will enjoy this. I mean, you've got like a 127 movie. You've got some of the earlier combat movies. You've got a lot of his shorts that have come out. There's a lot of that DNA present in this film, so I think you will get all that you can eat. I think fans of superhero movies that also like micro-budget films will eat well here. Now, I know it's a rather specific group of people. I think if you're like, you have to have your superhero movie like way over the top, I don't think this will help. But if you are somebody who loves the micro-budget space and is looking for something other than just basic horror films or horror comedies, I think this is something that you can enjoy. Though this is sort of a horror film, it has more of a superhero-y vibe to it. And then finally, I think films of the micro-budget space can really enjoy this. You've got a lot of those actors and a lot of those people that you would enjoy in those spaces. So if you've been really enjoying the micro-budget space, this is a place that you will find yourself at home. Well, thank you very much for this watch. If you did enjoy this, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and share. And of course, comment. What is your favorite Wynkoop film? I mean, I have a couple of my own. I actually am partial to the Craiglang Incident trilogy. They are flawed in many ways, but there is something about them that just draws me back every now and again. But we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
SeptumSin versus the world. It's that place for all the boys and girls. You'll feel real safe, you'll feel real warm. It's a cozy place to ride out the storm. SeptumSin. SeptumSin and his best boy Jake see the trends that scare us every day. Physical media is going to the side. Doctor streaming will rule the world in time. SeptumSin versus the world. It's that place for all the boys and girls. You'll feel real safe, you'll feel real